Boy, it is rest day at the ECRO World Tour Series, and it's the second rest day and the last rest day. We had 2 exciting weeks so far. First one more like flat and rolling. Second week is more rolling and mountainish. Yeah, mountain for sure. There was like the Lucha in there with like 4 laps. I hope you all survived. If you survived and you're watching this video, you're alive. You made it. You made it. So, having said that, we will do a sweet and short little current standing video here for the ECRO World Tour Series Chasing Yellow 2025. Yeah, people consider this rest day. I do like a super gentle zone 0, zone 1 right here. If you can, yeah, use that day to charge up your gear. I don't know, clean the chain, oil the chain, wax the chain. I actually put a big change on my end here. I put I dismounted my oval chain ring. I was always wearing an oval on the big blade, and now I'm back on a round and trying to feel that groove again. It's a little bit funny, but I'm getting there. I don't know, maybe it will do some wonders for the stage tomorrow, which we're talking in a very short time. So, having said that, again, I will pronounce some names here, and I have to big disclaimer before everything else happens here is this is all my opinion. It's just for entertainment purposes. So if I'm not mentioning your name or I'm jumping over it or whatever, don't take it the wrong way. Just answer in a way that you put the power down tomorrow and like show me the dust, okay? Leave me in the dust, as this is very likely. Yeah, so yeah, there are a lot of like names in there. And it's the beauty of ECRO, people coming from all over the world, re-racing in all parts of the world, and pronouncing some names are something to challenge. So, yes. So let's dive right in here, the ECRO World Tour Series. We are in the midst of the ace. Let's go right into the ace here, which is the current standing after 15 stages respectively. However, I have to mention, I have a suspicion that I think I saw from the organizer committee, they're working on results on one stage, which is not really updated or maybe not integrated. I feel some people missing stages, just one, and with that they might missing the E-gaps. That means they will push further down in the rankings. So whatever I say here, I'm just like basing on all the knowledge and data I have in front of me. So are you, and we're going through it, okay? And we'll check it out. So we call it the movers and shakers. At the top, from week 1 to week 2, or from first rest to the second one, not that much have changed. The top guys are still up there. Ruben Dawn is leading the pack, but Joe from Turbo, he kicked in the Turbo in week 2 and he is just 6 seconds back. That's barely nothing. That's just like looking back and I don't know, missing a beat or something. Even if they would race in different time slot, that could likely be, as Dawn or Ruben races in slot 2 and 3, and I see Joe all over the place. So that can be quite the difference right there. But not to mention, just a minute back, and we have some big stages coming up, and these stages are big time gaps coming up. People will dig in, and Michael Gallagher with just 1 minute and 37 back, or like close to 1 minute back to the top 2, is still in contention. as well as the SISU team. Key 8. Martin is in there, Martin Christensen. I know the team SISU is working to get Martin as well as Thomas Sørensen, who sits in 9th respectively, pushing him further and deeper into the top 5. Maybe podium, that would be probably the main goal. I think a big momentum, a big shift will come tomorrow based on the stage, because tomorrow is Van Top. It is Van Top. It is. Everybody's so excited, so excited. We are so excited to go up there. Yeah, it is what it is. It is, I think, 15 meters of elevation, 1500 meters of elevation. It's gonna be, yeah, just the wall. Just take your trainer off or set your bike off the tree and just run against the wall. That's it. Just like run up the wall. It's the wall. We will have a closer look at the stages, at the last stages coming up right after this, and then we can get into where the opportunities are to make a move and shake things up. So Michael Gallagher is there. SISU is fighting. Then we have Allez le Bleu, Alain Leprotrache. He is with his friend. I see another guy, I think his name is Alan too. Two friends, guys. They're racing in the APAC and they're always up there. I don't know where his friend is. Maybe he's not registered, but he is up there when he comes on board. And then here, Joe's Joker, Alan Lohe from Team Turbo. He still has like everything going for himself, but he is a golden domestique, I tell you that. A golden boy who has everything running for him. So if he can make it into the top 5, I think he would be a happy fella for sure. Now in position 7 we have David Kowalski from Collision Team Proto, which again is suspicious that he is missing one race. And if he's missing just one race, if that's true, and he got a time deficit added to his like credit here, I mean, he would be way up there. So I feel there is still like something missing. But having said that, David has done phenomenal work there. And I know Team Coalition is working hard to get people up in the GC. And we talk about that later when we talk about A, B, overarching categories or strategies, helping people out. Okay. One of my good streamer friends is Joshua Boder. He has done a phenomenal job in the last stage, which was stage 15. Going up that gradients, man, he just like punched one out, and he really worked hard there to stay away. But when I watch his stream, go and watch his stream, he has a paint face. He looks like he's smiling all the way up the gradients. I don't know if he's smiling against his competitors, just leaving him in the dust, but Joshua is a workhorse. Good for him going up there and making it happen. And there was no way he was let anybody go. I think he was descending with Gallagher, and he said to me like he was not prepared to let Gallagher go, because he lost him once in another stage and he wanted to bite his teeth into it, and he did. I think he finished second or third in that stage yesterday. He was really good in his slot. Yeah, next spot is number 9, Thomas Sørensen. SISU, we talked about him. He is in the mix and he is supported by his team, SISU, and they're all racing very well together with Martin, with Christensen. Sørensen himself is very well organized. So the guys like around like Chris Harris and so on, Craig Harris, they are just phenomenal. Great communication. They're nice to watch. So I would say, yeah, the top 10 all in 10 minutes. Not a big deal. as we see the van top coming up, and I can see gaps of like 10 minutes at least in the top 10 for that stage in the result. Again here, Carl is registered with just 14 races. I don't know if he missed one. He normally is a minute and 50 back. He should be in position 4 or 5 if this is all true, but let's take it with a grain of salt. Here, another guy, Alan Curtis, Team SISU, is fighting with the pack. When you're racing in slot 1 or 2, you probably see him with all his friends, mainly from the Denmark Express, how I call them. So then going further down gets a little spread out. Time gets getting bigger and bigger, and I don't want to like drag this out here. So this is something you want to watch. But again, if you're missing one race, you're probably adding at least 1 to 10 minutes. 10 minutes are the gaps now. So take that, movers and shakers. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, and at the bottom here is then it's going to just being survival, you know. I can like shout out some names which stuck out to me. Bruno Fernandes, Team Tugers, Adrian Hasala, Maggie Cream. We will talk in a B about them. Mark, I think yesterday he had a technical. Man, what a race from Coalition in the slot 4B. They're cleaned out nicely. We will talk about that in a little bit. Oh, and then I see my old fella Adam Dawson. He is a fighter, I tell you that. You know, it's good. He was dominating last year's, not last year's, I always say last year. It's like the last season, like Chasing Pink B series, where he really like nailed us all. He was pushing with the ace, and he deserved to be up there, and he's measuring up now. I know why he's not streaming right now. It's hard showing your downsides, and nobody really wants to see you coming in at 30th or like 28th position. Yes, I do it. Yes, I put myself out there just to count myself and watch back and say, yeah, that was me 2 years ago when I was riding as a Joe Average, and now I'm in Tour de France. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But yeah, don't worry, Adam. Put on the stream. I know you have fans going, but it's good showing yourself out there, making things happen. You're a great fighter. You're phenomenal for the community. So don't ride in the dark, buddy. You are there. You are there. So many fighters like Curtis Donald. He won one of the time trials in his slot. Craig Harris, I think he and Joe actually, I think in stage 13, maybe 14 or 15, they just took off and they finished 1 and 2, and I think they had a really good gap there. So Joe and Harris, they made a phenomenal ride. All right, coming now to the beast. Let's go to the beast, which I call the best. So the best of the best in the beast is Sebastian Wolf as of right now, respectively, with a gap of 328, and then we have a little bit of a gap there. And next boy is one of mine, Ben Goldberg from Coalition Proto. I said it again, and I say it again. Team Coalition is working hard to get the people up there. So, and yesterday was just another example of how it's been done. I know I saw the A race yesterday, stage 15, and I saw some A guy commenting, I think it was McCormick. He said, oh my God, the Coalition riders riding like juniors. No, they did not. They did not. So A and B strategies are now like grappling into each other, where A's helping B's and B's helping A's. And what happened there is, I think Jess Bauer from the A's Coalition and very strong B guys, which can obviously hold some A ride power. They went up the Maya and Itza climb as well as the gradient together and then pushed hard, really hard as a bunch. I think there were 4 or 5 people from Coalition, and boy, they cleaned house. They're not riding like juniors, they're riding strategic, and they put the B riders in stage 15 on the podium. Complete clean out. Spot 1, spot 2, spot 3, all Coalition. So congrats to the gang. I think at the end it was Ben. I think it was Todd was up there. Manuel was, I think Manuel was in the mix. Manuel Gill right now sitting at spot 13 respectively. He has missed one race. I think he got penalized with like 20 or 28 minutes and just like got ranked down to like 40th place. He was at one point the leading guy here in the Beast. So he is making his way up there. Surely but slowly, you can see it. He is already in spot number 13. And tomorrow is another gig. We call it the Manuel Gill Show on the Van Top. If he comes in and he bites himself close to another competitor, which is Rufio Sandilands from Team SISU, who smashed the Lucha part. I think it was, which one was it? Stage 14. Stage 14 was the Lucha where we had to go up 1600 meters of elevation, and he was with the ace, I think, almost the entire time. So what happened is, I think the ace finished the Lucha in 1 hour and 32, 35 minutes. He finished the Lucha in 1 hour and 47. Phenomenal performance. However, most of the beasts finished that right in 1 hour and 55 or close to 2 hours. Myself, 2 hours and 18 minutes. Okay, that was really bad of myself, but you know what? I just had to do it that slot. Couldn't do it, no breakfast. Very briefly breakfast and then ride on a bike. It was just pure planning, but it is what it is, to keep the family household in balance. So coming back, Sebastian Wolf is leading the pack. Ben Goldberg on the rise. Rufio, he has been phenomenal in the last, like, I would say, like 3 or 4 stages where he really picked up the slack. And then I told you last time, his name is Maxi from Team Maggie Cream, and the cream always comes to the top. The cream always comes to the top. I think Maxi's making his way through here. I think the last time he was like somewhere, I think like in the early teens, 10, 11, 12-ish. He's now spot 4. He made his way up there. He's coming. Clive Jordan, he was up there at one point, played a big role, but I think he had one bad day and he paid for it. No surprise, place 6th right now, Annie Poland, respectively, as I feel there's one race missing. I think she participated in all races. I cannot imagine that Annie would bail out on one. So she might be actually in the top. What is she? Maybe she slides down 2 slots, I would say. But so is her best helper in the B's, Alex Beebe, or his other Edel Joker. I think the name is Vogt from the Ace. They really help Annie along, and everybody in the OTR team as well as in the Collision team has now picked up the slack and supporting other riders in the last week. So is Todd Gleinster from Coalition Proto in Sport 8, and he is part of the gang who is racing hard and very organized to take down more GC riders in the last week, for sure. Austin Orsch from Team Turbo, he was up there. He had a couple bad days, I feel like. Well, there is something off here. Maybe Austin is the loser of week 2, but doesn't mean we will forget him. So he will come back, and hopefully he will just redeem himself with a strong week. That was basically your top 10. Julian Olaya from Team Cyclogen phases out and starts actually a new kind of like chapter here with the 30th group. I feel like this is how they block the top 9, and then from top 10 to maybe 13. These 4 or 5 people here. Julian, Carlos Rice from Team Tugos, Stephen Bomley, and Manuel Gill, who is just like on fire going all the way through. Brian Moore has lost some traction, I feel, but again, there might be a race missing here. Matthew Harbury from Chasing Racing, I think he stayed very consistent, which is great. Consistency is good, showing up is good. You will be benefiting that in the long run. Andros Rufal, I think he was higher up there. I think I remember him being a little bit higher up there. Maybe had a couple bad days. But okay, let's see what happens the next. Last week finished strong. Andre Sousa from Team Tugos, yeah, he was consistent in his approach. He is always up there in his slot. So I think the top 10, and you will find Andrew in there, except if it's a time trial. So let's see. And close to him is Seth Crouch and Andy Wells. Andy climbed very well as Alexei Nestrofov. Climbed very well during the Lucha, and here she comes, the second woman in the race is Carrie Paul. Big shout out to her. She is the mover of the week, I'll tell you that. She climbed from, I think, in the low 40s to 21, and literally she climbed up there with a great stage 14 Lucha performance, and well deserved, leading the pack of the 50-minute group, followed by Rick Latta, Stuart Stye, Sam H. And then we have a bigger gap, Tila von Spurrock Brock. So, yes, after that, we're going to go down, down, down. My competitor, the guys I'm looking at, is Lars Schleiniger and Chris Newberry. Lars actually climbed very well together with Andy Wells up the Lucha, and I think they will do great things tomorrow again. Lars actually had the comfortable position that he did not participate in yesterday's stage, which added time gap to him, but he is still up there. Very well. I'm in spot 40th, collision Neuer with 85 minutes back, respectively. And I'm being chased by Vincent Sauer and Alice Lethbridge, which are phenomenal riders. And Vincent was one of the guys yesterday who cleaned out the podium and contributed for sure. Alice, keep it together, okay? Don't chick us all, okay? I know you're climbing like hell, but I think Alice is just like going up like a rocket tomorrow. Let's see if she participates in the van top. She will just blow by everybody. I can only applaud that. Good for you, lady. Good for you. Giampiero Danca has climbed very well. And then one shout out to my Swiss Army Nice Mike Cloney from Coalition Xenon team. One shout out at down here as well is Wani de Giostini. He is a very good climber. I know he's spot 49, but when the climbing stage comes by, his name shows up. His name shows up, all right? Shout out to Chris Hulling, CEO Servus Germany. And for everybody who is down here, I appreciate every single one of you guys. I've been there in Chasing Pink. It's all about finishing the tour strong, dig in there, all these savings or gains, you will carry forward, do some zone 2 rides to lock them in after the tour is done, and you will be a better rider right after that. All right, going into the C team, C category, which is led by a woman, Sarah Walke, she is catching beats, and she is doing that indeed. And she is keeping the boys in check with Felix Pomerenke, Paul Morrison, and then after that is Sarah Olymp. May the Sarahs are like rocking this one here for sure. In the C category, I would say the top 5 are where it's at. The top 5 is where it's at. Maybe top 6. After that, it's getting wider and wider and wider. But you know what? A C category rider can always have a bad day, and a C category rider can always have a phenomenal day. So if you're gonna pace it right tomorrow, and there will be some changes, so you can easily make up 5-6 minutes to your competitors tomorrow in a heartbeat. So you guys are still like all in the races here. 20 minutes, making up 20 minutes is not a big deal. If you break down on the van top, you are having a bad day. Ladies, don't disappoint, but probably you gonna like fly off. But I can see SISU Haka is on the rise. Going into the D's, led by Robert Horn, and with 12-27 respectively, chased by Charles, David, Rudy, and then the cat who's hunting you down is Kate from Pink Cheaters. I really appreciate your punter, Cat, on the lucha. Thanks for the shout out to Mike, who had like some leg cramps, and I think you really motivated him to catch up even to me. Like he was a minute back and he caught up to me. Thanks to Kate. So you really like gave him some fire. I'll tell you that. So going down here, Olga Piton in the 20s, it's all possible here. So the top 10 is not even decided, not at all. So even our friend Mike Szymanski still has some contention and can easily make it to the top 5 if somebody builds out there. It's a long week, I tell you that, and the routes which are coming up right after that, it's all in. You can do everything there. Covering the E category, yeah, it's gonna be a surprise. It's always like a lucky draw who's in here. The time games are way bigger for sure. These guys are in here for testing the waters and finding their groove. Again, I see high race numbers, high participation numbers. These are the people who are really like headstrong. I appreciate you guys here really like going all out. If I see high participation in the E's, like 20 people, 21 people, most of them have like 13, 14, 15 races. I know big time gaps here, but boy, good for you to punch through. I know like a lucha stage 14 takes you 3 hours. 3 hours on a bike is no joke. So good for you punching through. Good for you headstrong. You guys are the true warriors here, punching everything through. Respect. So coming to the final event. The first one is Van Top, stage 16. Get ready for something that will blow the doors off. It's not that much to say here. It's just like there's a beginning, there's an end, there's a gradients, and the gradients probably never changes throughout the course. So that's the only thing what you need to say. There's a little red dot, which is the dot which you might rode when you were chasing Swiss or chasing red. Just like 3-4 weeks ago. Yes, that hurts. What will your time be? I don't know. If you say you are a high A guy and you're pushing 4.2, 4.5, you probably finish that maybe close to an hour. If you are a B guy and you're pushing 3.8, you're probably finishing that in like 80 to 85 minutes. Yeah, 3 watts per kilo gets you 98 minutes up there, like 1 hour of punter at 3 watts per kilo. So yes, this is going to be hard. Your bike setup for this one, I cannot tell you. Use something what you are comfortable on. Probably it's all weight, as light as possible. Whatever you have in there, if you have your milestone wheels in there, the lightest frames. I can see people like on the Halo bikes, even though it's a shitty climber probably, but it is what it is. Yeah, vent up, get ready. That happens tomorrow. I'm looking forward to all these pain faces. So after that, the final battle, we have the Maya Mash. That route I kind of look forward a little bit to, as this route is very similar to what we did yesterday. Okay, so the route yesterday, is it loading? There you go. We're starting down here. We're going straight into the Maya climb and followed by the Itza climb, followed by the grade, exactly what we did today, yesterday, which is a tough climb. We'll split the group. You still have to push up to close to the radio tower, where then is the recovery phase of maybe like 5 minutes, going over the bypass and then climbing back up. Here will be the last push until you save yourself into the gradients, full speed down, and then trying to maintain your gap on the ocean side there. So yeah, I could see maybe some bike changes, maybe not, but for me it's kind of like an all-arounder bike setup, probably SL8 with DT65s. Maybe you want to go a little bit more climbing rig. You could go with the 454s from Zip to accomplish the climb, but then you might lose out on the fast descents. Depends on you. So the work here is cut out for the A's. It's probably like around like an hour of a ride for them. The B's will probably be a little more, an hour and 5 minutes, very similar as you saw yesterday. So yes, that is that. Stage 18. Stage 18, Climbers Gambit. Starting from downtown Watopia, going over the S's, similar as yesterday, but we will have the Chrome Reverse in there, the short version, heading back over the Titans. And then descending from the Titans, we're going over what I always call the North Shore. Again, with a good bridge kicker, and straight into the final climb, which is another probably like 12 to 15, 19 minutes climbing for your category respectively. You want to hold on as long as possible. You want to make that calm here to have still contact with the lead group going into the Titans. Titans, yeah, this way around is, I think it's a shorter climb going up the Titans, even though the rollers are difficult to manage. The A's and the B's know how to push there very well, and you don't want to lose contact going up the rollers towards the Titan. And then the Titan itself is a beast itself, a short little, I would say, short little 2 minute good effort, and you up there, descend well, find your group, recover down the Titans, you get ready for that bridge kicker right here. That's a splitter, I can tell you. And then the bridge over here, you want to find your group, or just like look down, punch your numbers, and take it all the way home to the finish line. So again, I could see maybe a bike switch over here if you really want to, as this blue section is steep. I want to mention that Swift doesn't allow TT bikes. I know Annie yesterday, for example, Annie Paul tried to like pull a fast one, which was a good idea actually, at the top of the grade, changing into a TT bike because she lost the groove in front of him. and sailing down. But now put it on a default steel bike, which was heavy on the descent, helped it at the two, not so aero. However, be mindful of that. Always check your bikes when you enter the pen. And if you wanna see if that TT bike is available to stage off, just enter in the pens with a TT bike. See if Swift puts you on the steel bike automatically, and if not, and you're on a TT bike, you're ready to rock and roll, whatever you want. So, but it is what it is. So, the queen stage here, in my opinion, we already had this queen stage, but we starting out Valtopia, going a decker dash around the old Valtopia route, which has a steep climb in there, which could be a make or break. We're gonna have again the bridge kicker with the bridge descending into the jungle. Be on there, be on the group, trying to recover in the jungle. Going up, same route as yesterday. Yeah, Maya eats great. That is gonna be the recipe for disaster every time. And in the same descent as yesterday, going down. But we're not going down Montopia. We're gonna have one more climb left. So rest up and punch hard, punch in home, and you are there. All right. Now we're rolling in close to Paris. We're gonna go two laps of this one here, and it only has, I think, two key elements. I think right out of the gate we have the first calm. Hopefully this will be like not a Ruben Daunt like a maniac attack and spread the field like gum, but I can see that clearly happening in his slot. And after that there's the aqueduct. So we're gonna do that twice, and that's that. That is that. All right. So that will be fun. That will be fun. And then the last stage is stage 21. It's Sunday, July 27, the Champs-Élysées. I mean, no surprise there. For me, it's always like, how do we circle around? And that's actually the better version in terms of starting, because if you would start out and we're gonna go left, we go straight up the hill. This way we're gonna go downhill, loop around, and that's the hill here and on this loop. I think we're gonna do that loop 5 times. I believe so. And that's it. I cannot promise if people will say, oh, we don't race here, we're just gonna like do a zone 2 ride, everybody's chatting and sipping champagne. Now I feel people want to win on the Champs-Élysées, and there will be racing. So be ready for this. This is gonna be all aero, it doesn't matter if you have a little bit of a climb in here or a riser. Aero as possible and much draft as possible. Try to stay with the group or find your group and like punch it through. If you are losing the wheel, yeah, that's your day right there. But having said that, don't worry, it's the last stage, you made it. And after that you can give everybody a handshake, and we congratulate everybody, because that is it. That is the World Tour ECRO Chasing Yellow. I will do a little more zone 2 riding. I wish everybody a very successful 3rd week. I know there will be maybe like some suffering, there will be some swearing, there will be hopefully a lot of laughter, and good punter. Be kind to one each other, and I hope to see you guys on the finish line, or maybe in the pants and chatting you guys up. Other than that, like and subscribe, it would help me a lot. I'm not making money of it. I have no sponsors at all. If you want to become a sponsor and like maybe give me a jersey, give me good pants. I need good pants actually. Or maybe one of these like Swift rides, you know. I don't know, Swift. Whatever, all good. I'm doing okay so far, so, but you guys have a good one. I see you guys in the next one, and still healthy out there. Cheers.